Hello everyone, welcome to Gameoneer Awards 2023. This is your host, Bloodsmith, ADHD Gamer, and GDP Duncan. Are you guys excited about the awards?
Yeah, definitely.
Most definitely, this year is very excited for survival games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Tom's the show this year.
This is the big year for survival games, or at least it was supposed to be a big year, but it seems that the next year will be even bigger. All right, so welcome everyone. It's nice to see you in chat. Give us some noise, give us some excitement, because we not only showcase some upcoming games and nominate the best games of this year, but also reward 10 voters who help us decide the best games of 2023. So you guys get ready because we have awesome rewards for you today. All right, so let's warm up with recently announced big survival game. And that is And that was Light No Fire, a grand survival game reveal that recently happened. So, what do you think about the game, guys?
I think it looks really good. Just the marketing pitch was crazy because this is supposed to be a world that is larger than our Earth in real life, and it's all supposed to be in one server. It sounds very ambitious for sure.
The thing with this game is that from this developer, we had No Man's Sky. This is also ambitious game, which started kind of, with some difficulties, but it grew up to something really big and something significant in the survival game genre. And these are the same creators, and I'm sure they're gonna work on this one even more, to probably deliver the better start when we had with No Man's Sky.
I sure hope so.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely say that that the graphics look very impressive. I am unsure yet if it's an MMORPG or just an MMO open world, do whatever you want kind of game, which I'm hoping it is. And they even have children's skeletons, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, one thing I think about the game which really stands out is that they promise to be an Earth kind of Earth-like size world, which is kind of insane when you think of that. So hopefully we're not gonna see, a lot of things like, empty places, no points of interests. Hopefully we're gonna see a lot of things going on in the game, because when developers say, oh, that's gonna be a huge world, it sometimes can get a little bit, I don't know, think like they might not deliver, things on that grand scale like other games that launched recently.
Yeah, it's the same with No Man's Sky, right? Their previous game is they have a ton of worlds, but a lot of the worlds are pretty empty or look the same pretty much. Like they're generated the same. So that is my big issue, I think, that this game is gonna have as well, that it isn't gonna have much, especially for the size that they want to go. I do hope though that there's also a single player option, because online only in one server, it just has to be griefed, right? Spawn's gonna be pretty much unplayable.
Yeah. Hopefully they gotta implement single player too.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest issues that when it does come to the MMOs, right? The big open worlds is, like Duncan said, the griefing is, how do you stop against that? But we'll have to wait and see. But one thing I do have is that when No Man's Sky came out, it was very lackluster. And Hello Games, I thought they were going to crash, but nope, Hello Games stuck to it and continued to bring on a very awesome product.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And hopefully they're gonna learn from the past mistakes and just seek to make a better start, and maybe take more time in development rather, just making big promises. But when we have to wait for a few years before the game gets to that point where, it's really good and enjoyable. So I think this is the problem with many early access games, when developers start a bit too early, and maybe takes a few years to get to that point where the game is good, and then they get not the best reception, not the best reviews in launch, and it happens that the game often gets a little bit forgotten. Many players just, go away, and then it gets better. Yeah, it does not get the recognition it deserved in the first place. So hopefully it's not going to happen with Light No Fire. All right.
Yeah, I guess we shall see.
All right. I see excitement in the chat is going strong. And I think it's time to see what we have next. All right. So we have a pretty big nomination to start with, and it's Community Reviewer of the Year. And first of all, I want to thank to everyone for sharing your feedback, your thoughts about games and Gameoneer, and we reward everyone who's writing reviews. Everyone has a chance to win new survival games and action RPG games. And right now, I think it's the time to announce that Community Reviewer of the Year, our biggest game rating person who did a lot in the community. So let's see who is the Community Reviewer of the Year. And the Gameoneer Community Reviewer of the Year is Phoenixo. Congratulations. Congratulations, man.
Congrats.
Do we have Phoenixo here?
I don't think I've seen him in the chat yet.
Maybe he's just have no words because of excitement. You know why? Because right now, Phoenixo is gonna draw 2 games. As mentioned before, the Gameoneer Reviewer of the Year is gonna be rewarded with 2 games. And just a note to everyone who's gonna participate in this giveaway that once you respond that you're gonna say yes after the first draw, you get to choose whether you want to pick the game or draw for another one. So make sure you are with us and you get to choose another draw if you want so. So we're gonna start with the first draw. And here's our lucky draw. And I'm gonna draw the first game for Phoenixo. Ta-dam, Little Hats. That's the first game. So, Phoenixo, if you're here, let us know if you want to draw again or you got to keep that awesome game. All right, looks like Phoenixo made his decision. And we have this awesome gift sent to him the email after the show.
Little Hats is definitely an awesome little gnome adventure.
Yep.
I actually haven't played it yet, but it's set in the Netherlands, which you'd think I would have played it, because I'm from there as well.
All right, let's draw another game then. And this time we got Under a New Sun. Congratulations, Phoenixo. All right, just waiting a moment. If you want to draw again, let us know in the chat and we're gonna do that for you. But if not, well, you just won an awesome game.
Those are two big games, though. Two pretty good ones.
Like a nice combo from Little Gnome Adventure to Island Adventure.
Maybe that could be the future. An island gnome adventure.
Yeah. That would be an interesting mix.
Yeah, the Netherlands has islands, so there is potential, because gnomes are originally from the Netherlands as well. Get on that, game devs.
All right, Phoenix, so it looks like you just won 2 awesome games. And once again, congratulations by becoming the Gameoneer Community Reviewer of the Year. And thanks to everyone for voting and supporting this reviewer. All right, so it looks like we are moving on. We are moving on. Yeah, so this time we are gonna look into another upcoming game. And hopefully you're gonna enjoy it. So let's begin. All right, and that was Breath Edge 2. This is the sequel to the first game, What do you think about the game, guys? Have you played the first one?
No, but I have bought the game. It's still on my list to play. This actually looks kind of funny. I love the sound effects with it. It kind of. I'm not really sure what to think of the game seeing this, because he just builds a vehicle and jumps in a spaceship.
Yeah, that was...
Basically Pacific Drive, but on an alien planet.
Yeah, I would definitely say that it does have, you have the view of the action, you do have some of the crafting, you have the funniness of, them exploding an entire planet. And I have never played the original one, so I don't know what to go off of. But just from this trailer, I do at least want to jump in the game and see what it's like.
Yeah, I think the first one got a lot of attention from players, who enjoy games such as even like, No Man's Sky, these kind of sci-fi space exploration. This game is going to be more about exploring, but the thing is, I think not many games offer this kind of humor. A lot of sci-fi games are a bit more, well, kind of serious games. But this one will gonna introduce some humor to it, and some, as we can see, that you can drive a car, you can explore the world, you can even have your own spaceship. So I think this is gonna resonate with a lot of sci-fi, spacecraft type of gamers. Yeah, what do you think, guys? Do you like space games? What games have you played?
I don't play many space games, and this kind of goes the same for space survival games. Like, I haven't played much of No Man's Sky or Drift. They are alright games, but I don't know, I just can never really get into them as much as Underground on a regular actual planet. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I know I'm a big fan of the space genre. It's been really hard to find some really awesome games. I do like No Man's Sky, but Freelancer, the original kind of space exploration game, was still one of my favorites.
yeah. I think one of the things with space adventures is that why might some people might like them, why not? I feel like a lot of space games, especially if they're happening in space, like if you just go out in the space without having a vehicle or a spacecraft to land on, it can get a little bit stale because all you see are, stars, planets, and just black void out in space. So this could be one of the reasons why a lot of players might not be drawn to that kind of environment, at least from my own perspective and my own reasoning why I'm not a huge fan of space games. But if the space game has planet exploration, where you can just visit different planets and see different fauna and creatures and some combat and maybe even some in-depth survival mechanics, do you guys know a lot of survival games that offer in-depth survival mechanics like Green Hell type of depth? Or Project Zomboid?
When you have Survival Fountain of Youth, which is, I think, the more recent one. Other than that, they generally go for a very shallow, maybe a hunger first bar. You kind of can get sick, but that just impacts stamina. Not really that much.
Yeah, I think especially when it comes to space survival games. How about you? What do you think? ADG, do you think you found some awesome space survival games with in-depth mechanics like Green Hell or Project Zomboid?
Nothing in the space genre for sure. I am always on the lookout for such things such as that. Mostly because even No Man's Sky, pretty much they just made it to where it was just a little bit harder to gather your stuff, and their survival mechanic was just collect enough to try to get off the planet.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's time to move on.
Looks like Phoenixo is here.
Yeah, Phoenixo is here, and he's got 2 awesome games, but don't tell anyone. Let's make him surprise on the end. Yeah, so
He will have a big surprise when he opens the email.
Yep, that's gonna be a surprise for him. So we have the next nomination, Best Story. And right now, we got to figure out what is the best survival games in terms of story this year. And we have 3 nominees in this category. It's Småland, Survive the Wilds, Sons of the Forest, and The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. You guys have any predictions? What our community decided to be the best survival game in terms of story?
In terms of story, I would say Lord of the Rings, since it has such a huge catalog that it could grab from. I don't think it did much in terms of creating its own lore, because it is grabbing a lot of it from books. Sons of the Forest, I like the game, but the story is kind of shallow. Smalllands, it has a decent amount of story, but not a lot. Not nowhere near as much as Lord of the Rings. But again, Lord of the Rings also kind of went under the radar. So the question is, how many people actually played and even seen the game?
Yeah, I'll definitely say this was a hard one for me. Because I jump around between games so often, and Return to Moria, it does have the nice background story of all the J.R.R. Tolkien books, but inside the game itself, it didn't have really much of a story, except to rebuild Moria. Smallland, on the other hand, it did have a little bit of hints of where to go, but it didn't really have a story per se, and I haven't made it that far in Sons of a Forest, so this one is totally a guess for me. But I am just gonna throw my hand in there and say Sons of the Forest.
All right. So, based on the community vote, the best story winner is The Lord of the Rings Return to Moria.
Oh, snap.
It looks like a lot of players enjoyed the story that the creators of this game brought. And I personally think it brought some interesting surprises in terms of that aspect of the game, like cinematics. How often do you see cinematics in survival games? Or
you start to see them more though.
Yeah, I guess the budgets get bigger, more bigger companies are starting to invest into survival game genre, and we get to see more cinematics, more kind of story-driven footage.
Yeah. And let's hope Blizzard makes a survival game, because they have some of the best videos out there.
Yeah. All right. So it's time to move on to the next game that is coming in the upcoming year.
My name is Jan. My whole life, all my choices led me to this place. When I took this job, I thought things would take a different turn. Well, ironically, they did. My name is Jan, and I was brought here by the other Jan just because he didn't know how to fix his own shit. My name is Jan. I chose the path of science, and now I'm stuck with these feather-brained versions of myself. My name is Jan. I lost everything, but here I am, in a body that does not belong to me. My name is Jan. I've sacrificed my entire life for Lena, and now it turns out she's not even my wife. My name is Jan. And looking at all of them, I've never been happier with who I've become. My name is Jan. And I just want my life back. Yeah? Which one?
this was The Alders. It looks like we have a strong start with sci-fi survival games, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you think about the game, guys?
About the game itself, I'm not 100% sure because they didn't really show much. It is quite interesting that you basically build a colony of yourself, which is different for sure.
Yeah, I'll definitely say, I'm definitely getting some Pedro Pascal, vibes going on for their main character. And I couldn't tell from the game if it's 2D as they're walking side to side, but I think it definitely has an interesting concept. And I'm, interested to find out this one. I have not heard about this game.
Yeah, I think the game has an interesting approach to the survival, especially when you can clone yourself. It's going to be more like strategic based kind of survival experience. And I feel like a lot of players who love games with strategy and survival and building and exploration going to love this one, because like we don't get a lot of kind of unique games, a lot of unique games that touch something new in the survival genre. Like we often have zombies, the regular space games, some wilderness. But this one looks some kind of taking a bit more philosophical, I guess, approach, at least to the part of the story. It could be even the story-driven kind of survival experience with more cinematics and some things that, like lore, Yeah. I'm pretty interested to see what is going to be as it gets more and more information about the game and more gameplay footage.
Yeah, the concept definitely does seem pretty unique and interesting. So I'm getting my hopes up for this one.
And the developer is 11-bit Studio, so I have some confidence in their games.
Yeah. Alrighty then. Let's move on with another nomination. And this time we have Best Survival Mechanics. I gotta admit, guys, what I found interesting about survival game genre lately is that a lot of survival games tend to be kind of lacking on survival mechanics. We got a lot of kind of survival RPG type of games, building, exploration, crafting, the base foundations there, but sometimes they're lacking these in-depth survival mechanics to make you feel like, you are actually surviving in an environment. What do you think?
Yeah, that is true, but also do keep in mind that we've seen a surge of survival games this past year. It keeps going up and up every year, so it's getting more into the whole mainstream audience as well. So I think what developers are doing is they're just making it easier and more approachable. And other developers will, of course, get up on that. And we're going to go to this point where it's just going to be the bare basics for a lot of games. But we'll see, because every once in a while there is a pretty difficult and interesting one that have a lot of different mechanics that really make you feel like you're an actual survivor instead of just wandering through the world, eating berries every once in a while to stay alive.
Yeah, I thought that was one of the good things about Green Hell was that they added some mechanics that we hadn't seen in some of the other survival games, such as having to inspect your body to find leeches or abrasions and actually take care of them, as well as maintaining your armor and different aspects like that. I think they did a really good job. I think they could have mixed it up a little bit with making when you identify plants and different funguses differently, as that each game, each one could be totally different. So it is a new adventure every time you play.
Yeah. And as I've talked with Duncan before about what like Project Zombies is that it adds some randomness factor to the game. Like, for example, every bite has a certain percentage of getting you infected. And like, that scratch, that's not that big deal as if it's a bite, right? And the thing is that I think if more survival games with in-depth survival mechanics would offer some randomization factor where something, for example, a leech has a certain percentage of infection, it might infect you, might not, you might die or not, or maybe there's some kind of diseases or illnesses that affect you as you progress through the game in different ways, like adding these kind of randomness factor that you don't know, oh, maybe this is going to end well, but you always have this kind of tension that a certain disease, a certain virus, or, a certain wound will gonna affect you in a different way as you progress throughout the game, and you might die. Something seemingly small thing just gets you killed out in the way. So yeah, this would add, I think, some kind of tension to the game, and it would not make the survival experience, I'm gonna do this to solve the issue, drink water, heal wound in that way, fight infection in that way, but maybe add some element of surprise to that kind of survival feeling. All right, so best survival mechanics, we have 3 nominees. And these games are Forever Skies, Survival, Fountain of Youth, and Z-Zone. So let's see which of these games was voted as survival game with the best survival mechanics. And the winner is Survival, Fountain of Youth. Do you think, guys, this game deserved that nomination?
I think so, yeah. It does definitely bring in a lot of survival mechanics, more so than Forever Skies at least. I've not played Z-Zone, so I'm not really sure about that. I will say, though, a lot of Survival Fountain of Youth is kind of similar to Green Hell as well, so there is that. But yeah, it definitely does have way more than Forever Skies at least, which is getting updated to be more survival mechanic inclusive. So we'll see about that later. Maybe it changes.
Yeah, Forever Skies did have the interesting ability of having the the different pathogens that you can get and make a cure for it. Again, I also have not played Z-Zone Apocalyptic Ahead, but Survival Fountain of Youth. I know I'm going to lose some survival credit here, but I have yet to play it because I didn't pick it up when it first came out. But I do see that it is a 20% off on Steam, so I'm probably going to pick it up here shortly and give it a go, especially if it's as good as Green Hell.
Yeah, it's definitely something that in-depth survival gamers was waiting for a while, and it's definitely one of the rare games we get to see this year. And yeah, I think it did deserve this nomination for sure. All right, so now let's dive deeper into the survival game world of what's coming up next. And this time, we have a game from the developers of one very well-known survival game with in-depth survival mechanics. And that was Chimera from the developers of Green Hell. I'm really excited about this game actually because I guess the Green Hell was one of the most updated in-depth survival games, and I think these developers can create something new and more awesome than Green Hell. And I'm really interested to see that there's gonna be this in-depth survival game with in-depth survival mechanics, or it's gonna be more sci-fi survival adventure. What do you think, guys?
Creepy Jar generally makes. Well, they only really made Green Hell, but that game was pretty amazing. The DLC was kind of alright, introduced a lot of new things. I'm pretty excited for Chimera. They didn't really show much or like any gameplay really, so I wonder if this is going to be an actual survival game like Green Hell, or more of a focus on the base building, because it does seem like you have a pretty large technologically advanced base.
Yeah, when I first saw the preview for this game, I mean, I was definitely so fist pumping like, "Ugh," because I know Creepy Jar is going to create something good. I think with Green Hell, I think they were kind of limited with that survival aspect in the jungle. But if this is a post-apocalyptic survival, then your chances of what it is that you have to gather could be much more limited on what's still around, especially with having to fight alien creatures that may or may not have existed on the planet before. So they definitely have a wide palette to throw anything they want at this game and try any type of survival mechanics because it will fit.
Yeah, that's true. Since it's on an alien planet, there's like they can do whatever they want. They can really put in any resource they want, and it doesn't even have to be realistic.
Yeah. And I've noticed that a lot of developers are focused on sci-fi games. It looks like we're gonna get more and more sci-fi survival games. And maybe one of them is gonna be with in-depth mechanics like Green Hell, and maybe this could be it. Because we don't actually have these kind of survival games with very in-depth kind of space survival, thing going on here. But for example, I would love to see maybe survival games with different like weather environments, like lack of oxygen. But it's not like you have to just find some bottles of oxygen and consume them to fill it up. But maybe you would need filters or some kind of more depth to that kind of element, so it doesn't feel like you're just running around collecting oxygen tanks and just filling yourself up. But maybe there's some toxic environments that could get you sick, or maybe some viruses or something. That I think games such as Forever Skies were touching this kind of survival feel, what it means to be on destroyed Earth, all these viruses and bacteria, and it brought something new to the kind of survival genre in terms of space survival games.
Yeah, I'm also think. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, that was like all I wanted to say.
I was gonna say one of the things that I have noticed though by watching the preview a couple times and look at the Steam review and even the name Chimera, which is usually kind of a mix of things. I wonder if they're gonna mix it up on us to where you are gonna have a standard static base that's there, but you're gonna have to explore the world in order to gather the resources to build up your base and maybe make some outposts. So I think they're gonna mix it up on us.
Yeah. That'll be really interesting to see what's coming up next with this game. As now, we are moving with our another nomination for Best Building. In this category, we have 3 nominees: Sons of the Forest, Sunken Land, and Small Land Survive the Wilds. You guys have any predictions?
This could be all over the place, really, because Sons of the Forest has a pretty interesting building mechanics. Sunken Land has a lot of decorations you can find throughout the world, but the building itself is kind of limited. And Small Lands, kind of both, really. Small Land's probably, honestly, the better one currently.
I kind of almost feel like Duncan on this one. Sons of the Forest is, definitely has the interesting mechanic. Can seem a little tedious at times, especially when you hit some of the glitches that make all your stuff go flying. Sunken Lands, because you have to build it up for defense, and you actually have people who raid your base, you do have to build it up for a more defensive structure. And then Small Land, you don't really have to build too much. It's mostly just a safe place to stay, and it does move with you. So I'm going to put my money on Sunken Land.
All right. So let's see what our community decided is survival game with the best building mechanics. And the winner is Sons of the Forest. All right.
They have definitely gotten better, though, over the year time. I will admit that. Adding a lot more building, just decorative, but also you can build with stone now, which is something that wasn't there at launch. You can really do a lot if you know how to do it. The game just doesn't really teach you any of it, and some of it you can figure out like 50 hours later. It's really ridiculous.
It's after the 100 hours. That's where the sweet spot is. 100 hours, Duncan.
Yeah, I'm almost there though, so I'm almost professional in this game. Know everything about it.
Yeah, you're gonna make some nice guides for the game.
Well, we'll see about that.
All right. So let's see what's coming up next. What other exciting games we have? Because we've lately had some sci-fi games, but maybe you could get something on different theme. So let's find out, right? And that was recently announced Bellwright. Probably one of the most anticipated medieval survival games with town building elements. So what do you think about the game, guys?
So this really reminds me of what we recently played on the streams, which is Medieval Dynasty. So I'm not 100% sure what to think about it. It does, from what I read and remember, is you could build more of an army in this one. I'm not sure if that was possible in Medieval Dynasty, but it does look interesting and the graphic looks pretty good.
Yeah, for me, during the most recent Steam Fest, this was one of the games that I was actually kind of sad that I didn't get an actual chance to play the demo while I was out, and then after Steam Fest it went away, because I wanted to see the different mechanics they had. Some of the building is really awesome. It does have a lot of that Medieval Dynasty feel to it when you're building, but the fact that you can build up an army and you control that army from a top-down perspective during battles, it does look like it's going to be a pretty interesting mix on the survival yet village building mechanics to overthrow a tyrannical king.
Yeah. I feel like we don't get a lot survival games with town building and combat. Like, for example, Medieval Dynasty had some combat, but it's more focused on the town building. But I'm really excited about this one because, like, I really want to build towns. I want to not only manage people, not manage economy, but also build fortifications, defend from enemies, and raise my army, fight other bad, evil kings, have this kind of war going on between empires. So, yeah, I think this one is pretty exciting to me, even though I'm not that huge of a town management kind of game, fan, but it's only pretty much the main reason is because they tend to lack more in combat. They're more like management and just, gathering stuff and that's it. But this one I'm really interested in is because it will also have some, combat going on and wars and just battles that I'm really excited about. Like, might be something similar to Bannerlords, just more in that survival genre category. All right. So let's see what's coming up next. And now we have nomination for Best Crafting. And the 3 nominees in this category are The Front, Ark Survival Ascended, and Sons of the Forest. What do you think, guys?
I don't really remember anything from The Front. Ark Survival Ascended I haven't played. I haven't played a lot of Ark originally either, so I'm not really sure, and I don't really remember how the crafting worked in that game. Sons of the Forest, kind of a pain, to be honest, to craft. So I'm not sure.
And you know what? I'm gonna go with The Front on this one. I know I've played it quite a bit, but the crafting system is quite in depth, since you do need a lot of different materials to gather from around the world, and you do have to make more materials in order to add them to make other materials. So I like that one. Ark has always been a kind of little lackluster when it's come to general crafting, except just have the basic materials that you need. And Sons of the Forest, yeah, I would have to agree with Duncan. So I'm gonna go with The Front on this one.
All right. Based on the community's vote, the best crafting system in this year's survival game. And the winner is Sons of the Forest. Yeah, I think the game definitely has something in store for people who enjoy crafting, which is usually not like in many survival games. You have these kind of usual inventory types, but I think Sons of the Forest has some interesting crafting mechanics going on, and definitely worth considered in this nomination. And here it is. It's the winner.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those games. I'll say that there's no regular interface. It's all done by clicking it in your inventory.
Yeah.
That's the other problem I do have with it, though, is everything is pretty much done in one inventory, except for a few items in Sons of the Forest, which are the 3D printed ones. And when you upgrade your tools later down the line, those are like the only different crafting areas, really. So no 500 benches or something.
All right. So let's move on and check it out. What's upcoming next in the survival world?
Welcome to Crashlands. 2. Explore a world filled with wonder, mystery, and some of these things. And then slap them. And slap those too. Just slap it all, except these. The great outdoors isn't so great when you've got no indoors. Best to make a home for yourself, but not just yourself, because loneliness sucks. So build a friendship, because that kind of ship won't crash. After all, if you're gonna make it on this planet, you'll need all the help you can get.
Slap this and slap that, and that was Crashlands 2. I think this game is gonna be very exciting for many slappers out there, right?
Definitely. It also brings the humor again, like the other game we looked at.
Yeah.
Which is pretty unique.
Yeah, the
Like,
original Crash Lands, I really love that game. It was really fun. I think one of the most awesome parts about it was that not only could you play it on PC, but you could also then take it on the go on your mobile device as well. So I think Butterscotch Shenanigans has a winner with this one.
yeah, like it looks really interesting. It has this kind of Dawnstar vibe, more like vibrant Dawnstar version. And I'm interested actually how I haven't played the first one, so I cannot say how exactly this kind of gameplay is. I think like ADHD Gamer has more experience in that, but it looks pretty exciting if like you land on the alien planet, it looks like ship crash, and you're just gonna try to survive by slapping things. Yeah.
Yeah, if it's like the original game, you will be able to develop and get better weapons as you go on. But this one has added a new mechanic where it looks like you are able to, invite the survivors that you find on the planet to join you. So I don't know what kind of aspect they're going to bring to the game, but it'll definitely be interesting. That's one they didn't have on the original.
More town building, it sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah, more management, maybe some community building. Yeah, looks pretty fun actually. Definitely worth adding to your wish list, if you wish.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Slap that wishlist button.
Yeah, slap that wish list button on Steam, baby.
I will tell you, one of the things that always caught me when I first saw this game is Butterscotch Shenanigans has one of the best intros to their game. It's just so catchy. When they say Butterscotch Shenanigans, it just gets in your brain.
Yeah.
It's like the old Sega intro.
Yeah, it has that vibe.
Sega.
All right, righty. I guess we just warmed up for the next nomination, which is Best World. Oh, and the Best World nominees are Ark Survival Ascendant, Smallland, Survive the Wilds, and Forever Skies. So this one is a pretty tough, I guess, at least for me, because all of these games has really good worlds. Of course, Ark Survival Ascendant just launched the first island map, which I think looks amazing in new Unreal Engine 5. And personally, I think it's currently the best looking survival game if it runs on your PC. Like, just nature looks amazing. Optimization is not, but hopefully it's gonna change. Smallland is also nice looking game. Forever Skies has some distinct areas to explore, and beneath the sky, beneath the cloud, there's some mysteries to discover. What do you think, guys?
Yeah, I will agree on those points you just mentioned. I think Forever Skies, though, probably has the least amount of world, because a lot of stuff above the dust is just copy-pasted buildings. Underneath the dust, there's currently only one location. It does look interesting, but again, it's only one location. For Smalllands, I really enjoy that world. It feels kind of unique. It kind of like Grounded, but in a different setting, more of like a wild setting compared to the backyard nature of Grounded. Ark, again, I don't really know much about Ark Survival Ascended. From all that I've heard, it's just a graphical upgrade, really.
Yeah, it actually
I'm
has
not
more
really
than
sure.
that.
It has more than that?
Yeah, I mean, like, it has some improvements, like building system has improvements. So I would say it's not just graphical, but more like quality improvements included and some features also. So this is pretty much called as a remake, but to me it's more like remaster with some remake things. It's not like absolute rechange of the game like remakes tend to be big massive change to the game, but this one I would say something like some improvements to the game, but it's not just graphical ones. Yeah.
Well, let's see. If I had to go cost per world, I would probably go with Smalllands Arc, which is out there pretty much about a $40 to $50 game, mostly a remaster, but it does look beautiful. Unreal Engine 5, hands down, is one of the best graphics engines out there, and I'm loving a lot of the games that are coming out with that. Again, it has dinosaurs, so Ark does probably have the better world in this one, just in the general aesthetics. Small Land, it definitely has the vibe and has its own personal feeling. And Forever Skies, yes, it does. It is a bit empty, but it is still an early access, so I have some hopes for that one.
Yeah.
But for this one, I think I'm gonna go with Small Land.
Yeah. And I think to defense of Forever Skies, I think, it has this kind of space environment. It's basically space game, as I like to call it, space survival game. So it's pretty much these kind of survival games tend to have a little bit empty environments. Like they tend to be a bit more empty, where it's more about space rather than, certain elements like wilderness or, yeah. So they tend to get a little bit empty as I found this specific genre, but yeah. All right, so it's time to announce which of these games has the best world. And the winner is Smallland Survive the Wilds.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely because I think this game has brought some really interesting biomes and conquered the hearts of the little small folk out there. And
Also, the points of interest look absolutely amazing from both close up, but also from a distance.
oh
I think
yeah,
one things I'm actually hoping for Smallland in the future when it gets a little bit more settled is maybe kind of like almost a little bit more of a open world survival PvP aspect where you have to build up your little colony and you can attack each other with other players. That's what I'm hoping for.
oh, so you're waiting for PvP servers?
Heck yeah.
All right, cool. So let's see what we have next. It looks like we have a giveaway time, right? So
Giveaway.
Oh,
oh yeah, who's excited in the chat? Drop a I'm excited favorite emoji, which is, I guess, not very big variety based if you're not a subscriber on Twitch. But anyways, so we're gonna now pick 3 winners from all the participants, from all the voters who voted for the best survival games. We are going to pick 3 now, and then you're gonna pick 3 other winners, and at the end we're gonna pick 4 more winners. 10 winners in total. So let's start by picking the first one. All right, so that is the time to see who is gonna be the first winner of our giveaway. And that is Iridium Bunny. Hello, my friend. Hope you're here because right now we're gonna draw a game for you. So, and now I'm gonna draw the first game for Iridium Bunny. Under a New Sun. Congratulations, Iridium Bunny. So, that is your time to make a decision. Do you want this game or do you want to draw again?
seems like they want this game.
It looks like the decision has already made. But maybe he's still deciding. Let's wait for a moment. Maybe he's still thinking, like searching on Steam, what this game is all about. Or maybe he just got unconscious because this awesomeness he just won. Who knows? And it looks like he's gonna get it. So, Iridium Bunny has just won Under a New Sun, an awesome island survival game actually, we played this game, and it's actually pretty fun. It needs more content, cannot deny that, but it has a good foundation to become something bigger. Yeah, guys?
Definitely. And it also really has that Stranded Deep vibe, but a little better optimized, in my opinion. But it definitely needs more content for sure.
All right. So, let's move on with what else do we have here? All right. And now we have another upcoming survival game. So let's check it out. And that was The Signal, another upcoming sci-fi survival game. What do you think, guys?
The building aspect in this one looked pretty interesting because it seems like we're gonna be in some sort of 3D blueprint space. You can basically put anything anywhere you want, and then it pops into the world itself, which seems pretty interesting. And it also doesn't seem to just apply to buildings, but also to the vehicles. So I'm interested to see where that is going.
Yes. Starting off, they had the intro, little quote by Carl Sagan, which really caught my attention. The little goose bite thing threw me off, but it was good. I like the music. I do like the 3D print idea and the way that the vehicle building is, where you could add things to them. I don't know if that's going to be crafting unlock, and each thing that you add to it's going to add some special feature to it. It definitely makes me interested to find out a little bit more about this game because there's so much going on.
Yeah, it definitely has some interesting premise, like building in space, and I think like we are getting some interesting sci-fi space exploration games. And I really like that they're not only like, just in dark void that you're just gonna be, but they're also about the planets and about exploration of the planets, about fauna and different creatures and things like that. So that looks really exciting.
Yeah, the asset pack in this one kind of reminded me of Stranded Alien Dawn, which is what I thought it was going to be initially, but they mixed it up. So we'll see what comes.
Yeah. All right, so we are going to the next nomination, and that is Best with Friends.
Something I know nothing about.
What are these friends you're talking about?
We're going to figure out which of these 3 games that are Ark, Survival Ascended, Sons of the Forest, or Sunken Land is the best with friends. Which of these is your favorite, guys, with friends, like assuming you are with friends?
The only one that I play multiplayer from these three is Sons of the Forest, and I strictly just play it with a friend and not even solo. So I would have to go for that. Sunken Land's pretty fun alone. It will probably become too easy with friends. And Ark, again, I haven't really played that much, so I can't say.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't, I really haven't played any of these with friends, but I have played the original Ark with my son on occasion. It's really more fun with more people in Ark because of the dinosaurs you're fighting and to help distract the other dinosaurs as you're trying to beat it. So I'm going to go with Ark on this one.
All right. So, this year's Best with Friends winner is Sons of the Forest. All right, looks like we have a lot of people like scary games with friends. Like,
It's called Sons of the Forest, not
Yeah.
Son, so there have to be at least two people.
yeah, it has to be some people who want to get in caves and just run around like little girls and try and escape the mutants. Like, it's fun with friends, you know. Because sometimes I feel like in caves you can get lost and you need someone to get you out.
Duncan, where are you? I'm down here. Yeah.
Yeah, like the mutants are kind of smart, so you also want the teamwork to beat them because they're can be escape a little bit fast guys, and they can also bring their own guys. So it's like, you know, your friends and mutants and their friends against.
Yeah, especially when you do the kind of raid-like events where they come attack your base. I'm pretty sure it scales with the amount of people, though, so there's like a massive horde of mutants coming towards your base. That's
Yeah.
definitely a lot of fun with more people.
Yeah. All right. Let's move it on with another game trailer.
Welcome to the City of Dreams. Where anyone can get a fresh start. Where a corrupt president enjoys a bit too much power. Well, sometimes you just have to go rogue. But remember, there can only be one president. Welcome to the streets where anything is possible. Streets of Rogue 2 is an immersive open-world sandbox dialed up to 11. Be who you want. Write your own story. And you can do all of it with friends. Streets of Rogue 2.
All right, and that was Streets of Rogue 2. GTA of survival games. Who's excited about that one?
This one looked crazy, to be honest. I couldn't believe it was a survival game or had survival/building elements until they showed this like 2-second clip of them actually building something. Because it looks more like maybe a GTA like 2D game from back in the day, just made for more modern PC and consoles.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm not sure. I'll probably check this one out. Not sure how long we'll play with it though, because it looks pretty insane.
Well, you know me, I'm all about the PvP. I like to, I like to challenge against other players, and this one looks like it's gonna be kind of fun. I do know it is by Tiny Build is the publisher, so I know it's gonna have some quality aspects in there. I've never played the original Streets of Rogue, but this has actually got me interested in checking out the original game, see how it is. Some of the aspects do remind me of a Shakedown, another kind of open world GTA in a 8-bit world. And that one I thought it was a little too open to where it didn't really have too much for you to do, gave you too much money, you could just kind of do whatever you want to do. So I'm hoping this one has a little bit more of that survival aspect and make you have to build up your base and then venture out to do craziness. But it is definitely intriguing me. I'm going to look forward to this one, add it to my to-buy list.
Yeah. And I feel like with a recent announcement from GTA developers, GTA is coming like in GTA 6 is coming in 2 years, and I think this game might keep people busy while waiting for the GTA 6 or just loving survival games. And I'm really excited about how much freedom we can expect from the game, because it looks like you'd be able to explore a massive open world, just have a play with other players. You can play solo, you can play with friends, you can think the game will also have PvP servers, as I've seen talking developers silently, and they're having some really awesome surprises for this game. Like, imagine joining PvP server and just grouping with your friends, making a gang and maybe attacking other players and just taking over the city. Or maybe just playing with friends and just having a chill time together, like building, just shooting random citizens, But I mean, like, hopefully it's gonna be fun for everyone and with a lot of freedom.
And it did have that aspect in there that there can only be one mayor. So hopefully there is some type of, goal to achieve to become the mayor where you have all the power.
Yeah. And take over the city. Alrighty then. It looks like we are moving to the next nomination, which is Best Combat. So, let's see which of these 3 games is considered to be a survival game with the best combat. Sons of the Forest or Smallland, Survive the Wilds. Or maybe it's the Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. What do you think, guys?
I'm honestly surprised that Lord of the Rings is on this list, even though I do think it probably has the most in-depth combat mechanics, that it never explains to you, but you can actually do quite a bit, which is ridiculous. The other 2, they're kind of similar in most ways, to be honest. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll have to agree with Duncan on this one. I think Return to Moria does have a lot of abilities in the combat system. I enjoyed playing it. They need some more durability and stuff on shields and weapons and things like that. Small Land is more hit, dodge. And Sons of the Forest, I don't know. I find the combat a little lackluster in that one, so I'm going to go with Return to Moria.
All right, let's see what the community decided. What game has the best combat? So, the winner of the best combat is Sons of the Forest. It looks like a lot of players really enjoyed bashing these mutant heads, right?
Yeah, it seems it.
And I think a lot of players, what they don't take into consideration when it comes to best combat is like enemy AI, which I think in this game is really, really engaging. Like, compared to many survival games, their enemies are kind of static and they're kind of just attack you and you just beat them back. But this one has some interesting varieties and interesting elements.
They have an interesting group dynamic, because you have some that throw stuff, some that climb the trees, some that sneak up on you, and some that just go straight for you. And then you have the bigger ones as well that you really have to be careful of.
Yeah. And these are the things that make combat exciting. You know, it's not like static or some linear, but it's something that has some surprise elements. And when you fight these enemies, that they can come from behind or bring a bigger group of enemies, like they're kind of thinking and strategizing. This makes combat pretty exciting, I think.
Okay, I think Duncan got me on some of the combat mechanics with the different unit types. So, okay, I'm going to give this one a good call.
All right then. So, Sons of Warriors it is. Let's see what we have next. And we have another upcoming survival game. So, let's check it out.
Hi everyone, my name is Ruby and I'm a designer on the Once Human development team. Today I'm super excited to introduce you to our new game, Once Human. So for those of you who maybe aren't familiar, Once Human is a new weird sandbox survival game that gives players the freedom to explore and experience the game in whichever way they like. Once Human invites players to explore a strange and fascinating new world, one that combines combat, crafting and survival gameplay mechanics with a cosmic horror aesthetic. So you may be wondering what I mean when I refer to Once Human as a new weird game. Essentially, the new weird is a genre of art and literature, and what it does is it combines supernatural elements, cosmic horror, with sci-fi. It's heavily influenced by the works of H.P. Lovecraft. With this mix of survival gameplay and an unsettling, creepy, new weird horror aesthetic, Once Human offers a uniquely gripping gameplay experience. Players have the freedom to carve their own path through this world, but they'll also have to constantly be on the lookout against any number of reality-warping, mind-bending threats that they may face along the way. Once Human integrates 5 core gameplay systems to offer players a really high level of freedom. The game also boasts 4 distinct biomes and 6 entrenched faction strongholds, all spread across a really vast 16 by 16 kilometre map. Once Human offers players the opportunity to battle creatures from another realm through open exploration, dungeon challenges and intense boss fights. Once more, players can also customize their growth by gathering resources and crafting their own gear to best suit their own personal playstyle. But with Once Human, otherworldly monsters are not the only threat. Players can also attack one another and loot their resources, so the game has the potential to descend into all-out server-wide warfare at almost any time. Once Human also has a team play feature that lets players construct a hive together with their friends, set up a territory, fight for control over rare resource points, and even take part in 20v20 PvP battles. In short, Once Human offers an immersive gameplay experience that is just a little bit different from anything you've played before. We're super excited about its release, and we hope that you are as well. So, if you like the sound of what you've heard, please add us to your Steam wishlist and join our official social media accounts to become part of our community and stay updated on all of our latest development progress. Thank you, guys.
All right, and that is Once Human, an upcoming survival MMO. I think ADHD Gamer is pretty excited because he enjoys PvP, right?
That it is.
So what do you think about the game, guys?
I'm not 100% sure yet what to think about it. It does look nice. It looks pretty interesting. I like the aspect that reality warping is a thing in this game because it can keep you on your toes, and monsters seem to just appear out of nowhere as well. So it looks pretty interesting, and I definitely want to check this one out.
Yeah, for this one, initially when the trailers came out and she was speaking, I thought something was going to happen to her, because I thought, well, like, wow, that'd be really cool game mechanics if all of a sudden it happened to her. But as it started going on, I started seeing, the action. It is a third person, so I did start getting some of the Day Before vibes. And then when they started showing some of the mechanics of the inventory system, I started thinking that it was some of the oh crap, I forget the space game now where you got to come down where you're hovering over a lot. But as it came on, you started seeing a lot of the monsters and they added in the PvP aspects and stuff like that. Then it started really grabbing my attention to see where this game could really go. And as Duncan said, with it splitting into different dimensions or reality, that could give a very interesting gameplay mechanic.
Yeah. And I heard a lot of in the community players who were very disappointed about the Day Before launch and what happened to the game. They're kind of excited about this one because they found it similar to the Day Before, at least aesthetically, but also this game offers what a lot of players wanted from the Day Before, which is MMO element.
And gameplay trailer.
Yeah. Yeah, they expect it to be an MMO game, and it was advertised as a MMO game, but turned out to be more like Tarkov, not that open game that players expected. They made it want to be more like DayZ or Scum with base building, more MMO aspect where you can just jump to the servers and just fight other players or explore together. And probably this game is gonna offer that experience. To be honest, I just have one little concern. If I not wrong, this game also gonna be cross-play on mobiles and PC, which tends to be a little bit thing for me, because I found that if the game is a mobile port, or if it's gonna be that way, it might be a bit too basic for PC gamer that expect more depth, and this is probably the main concern about the game. But if they like working on two bit different versions for mobile, basic one, and PC version where you have more depth and better visuals, of course, and things like that. So yeah, I think it has a promising future.
Yeah, now one thing I did catch looking at their Steam page, one thing that does get me when you said that about the mobile features, it does say that it has in-app purchases, which always brings me up to a little bit of hesitation.
Yeah, and also something I noticed is if you look at when they open the inventory, it really looks like kind of your basic online shooter where you'd have to get better gear, like Destiny, maybe. So there's probably going to be like you purchase better gear and cosmetics and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was the game I was thinking about when you said it. It was Destiny when I saw the inventory. That's exactly what I thought.
Yeah. And that's what pretty much concerns me about crossplay games, mobile PC crossplay games, is that they're kind of get with all these, microtransactions going on, and they tend to be a little bit toned down version of the PC game, because mobile games usually don't run these PC games, and they get kind of look downgraded, or the movements, the whole kind of gameplay flow feels a bit too basic for my taste. So at least I haven't found a mobile survival game that I could play on PC and say, wow, this is an awesome game, right? This has depth, it has good gameplay, it doesn't have microtransactions, it has everything that I would have run from a quality PC title. So hopefully it's not gonna be just another mobile kind of game on PC.
Now, according to Evil Fluffy in chat, he says he's currently playing the beta and the game is pretty awesome, and it's definitely not another day before.
All right. Then it's worth checking out. I guess the game is launching next year. Late next year, right? So I think we're going to have more beta tests. We're going to have more alpha tests to check the game out for those who haven't played it yet, and to decide whether it's the game for them. All right, then. I guess it's time to move on with another nomination. Best.
Moving on it.
I can hear the excitement from ADG Gamer from knowing which has the best PvP mechanics. So let's find out. We have 3 nominees for this category, and it's The Front, Firewall Pioneers, and Ark Survival Ascended. Any predictions?
I would imagine Ark. I never really thought of Firewall Pioneers as a PvP game, but I guess since there is multiplayer, it is kind of like a Terraria 2D styled PvP with guns.
Yeah, and base
So
raid.
who knows? Yeah. Although I'm not sure how base raiding will go in multiplayer, specifically the PvP area. Unless you
Let's
have big
see.
groups.
Let's see. For this one, I'm kind of torn, right? Because Far World Pioneers has great graphics for an 8-bit game for doing PvP. It feels good and stuff like that. I just don't know how it works that good because the weapons do play a big part. So if you do have a longer range weapon, then you're definitely going to tear people up, or rocket launchers, things like that. The front is a little hit and miss right now when it comes to PvP, especially if you're using like flintlock pistols, things like that. There's no real dodging, jumping, sliding mechanics in that one. So I'm probably going to have to go with Ark Survival Ascended on this one.
All right, guys. So let's see which of these survival games is the best for PvP this year. And the winner is Ark Survival Ascended. Oh boy, it looks like the formula of Ark was always known for providing a good PvP experience, and it also has good PvE experience. So it's kind of one of these games that are not just, built just for PvP, but it also has PvE players in mind. And you can choose whether you want to go into PvP servers or PvE servers, and it's basically you can have the experience that you want. Both PvP is good, PvE is great too. So yeah, I think this game definitely deserved that kind of victory or reward, because it's a great game in general, and it also has a good PvP. And I did play PvP for some time, got raided, got griefed when I didn't play after that for a long time, but yeah, it was good.
Yeah, definitely any PvP game, definitely has to take into effect of griefing, hackers, things like that, because that can totally ruin the game. They just had that one game that was out there. Oh crap, I forgot the name now. But pretty much the griefers and stuff totally destroyed the game, and it stopped production.
Maybe that was a Last Oasis. Well, that one also did fall for one of the reasons that griefers, and just players who destroyed big groups of players, Zergs, attacked other players and just killed pretty much the game, and a lot of people left. And Last Oasis was like one of these games that fall behind. Just, yeah. Sad
the
story.
game I was talking about was the Cycle Frontier. It was kind of like an Escape from Tarkov, where it drops you on a planet, you got to survive and get stuff and then get back out. And that one, you just had too many hackers around, and it just killed this little indie company.
Yeah, and I think, when it comes to small indie companies, I don't usually suggest them to build PvP games for that one reason, because you need to have a good anti-hack, anti-cheater protection, and a lot of, even big companies struggle with that. So unless it's PvP on private servers where the community takes care of, their active admins who are looking into things. But for official servers, that often gets a bit troublesome because, developers don't have that much, especially small ones, the resources to look after what is happening, and they cannot just monitor everyone easily, and maybe they don't have a good protection from these hackers. So this is how many small PvP indie games just fall down and end up dead. Yep. All right, so I guess it's time to move on, because now we have another game trailer.
Завітайте в Лазуровий порт. У нас найкращі пляжі, готелі та ресторани. Файно! Замовлю собі багатського м'яса та пива. А ви що, хлопці? Ну,
найліпші, то попало себе шампанським і морським оленем. А ти ж, Петро!
А я, як завжди, то маленьку банушу хочу.
Йой, то ж ресторан, а не корчма!
Може ресторан бути найліпшим, ніж у банушу немає. Що ти пошкіриться?
And that is Sand. PvP focused survival game for players who want to dive deep into the scorched deserts and survive. Yeah, what do you think, guys, about the game?
They revealed that he was riding a giant spider or mechanical spider-like building was kind of crazy, to be honest. I haven't seen much of this game, so I don't really know anything really about it. If it's PvP, I hope that there's going to be like a giant base warfare as well.
Like the battle of the machines and players throwing.
Yeah. Like you can mount guns to the machine, to the things you ride and stuff like that.
Yeah, it reminds of Last Oasis to me, like where you can have a big, these walkers and just go with the guys and attack other, walkers and just, I feel like maybe this could be a similar experience to that. So what our PvP lover ADZ gamer thinks about the game?
You know what? I will say that I do find that the trailer disappointing only because it doesn't show any of the game mechanics, just the cinematic. From the Steam page when I saw this trailer originally when it came out, is that it is a first-person shooter style game. So I'm interested to see what the walker style thing plays. Is it just where you're going to have your base, kind of like a Tarkov one where you go back to and you move to different areas? So... But it is a PvPvE game, so I'm curious if it's just going to have different servers where it's going to be PvE or PvP, or how that's going to go. But I will keep my eyes on this one.
Yeah, looks like a quality title for sure.
It's still set to be announced though, so there's no release date speculated yet.
Yeah, but I assume usually when they announce, do the first trailers, usually the games come in about 2 years. I've noticed this kind of pattern in survival games. Like usually there is like an announcement that the game is coming soon, then it usually releases in about a year, but it gets delayed to another year, and usually there's 2 years before the first announcement. So yeah, one delay, luckily, and then we have the game release.
Yeah, I think it's also part of the thing with the, getting funding is, you got to put that anticipation out there. People look into it. People want to invest. And then you can see what you can actually add to the game in the short order that you have in order to make it.
True. All right. So it's time to look what we have next. And what we have next is nomination for the best challenge. So in this category, we have 3 nominees. And that is Survival Fountain of Youth, Sons of the Forest, and Ark Survival Ascended. Interesting. Which of these do you think provides the best challenge?
This one could be kind of difficult. I think for most players, Survival Fountain of Youth has a lot of these survival mechanics that are really there to take you down, which could be very challenging. Overall, though, I found Survival Fountain of Youth pretty easy. But then again, I also find the Forest, or Sons of the Forest, pretty easy. And again, I haven't really played Ark much, so we'll see. My money is currently on Survival Fountain of Youth, though.
For me on this one, I know this is going to be a tough one because I really haven't played either of these much. I missed out on Survival Fountain of Youth, not too hard into Ark, but Ark itself in general for basic survival mechanics has never really been that hard. So I am looking towards Survival Fountain of Youth because it has more of that hardcore survival aspect like Green Hell that I've heard about. But because I know the way the audience is leaning, I'm going to go for Sons of the Forest is going to win this one.
All right. So let's find out which of these survival games has the best challenge. And the winner is Sons of the Forest.
Nailed it.
ADHD just knows the community by now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Sons of the Forest definitely has that challenge, especially when you go to caves unprepared.
It's a lot easier, though, than what the Forest was, for sure. Which is why I didn't think it would win. But Sons of the Forest also pretty much the biggest out of the three, so I guess it makes sense. Survival Fun, we've kind of went under the radar quite a lot as well. So I guess going for Sons of the Forest would have been a smart call, because most people have played that.
Yeah, Sons of the Forest is also big for streamers. Same with Survival Fountain of Youth. I think Ark just comes with a lot of baggage. And so I think some people were turned off from the original game. And I think they're more making it for the masses instead of for the survival enthusiasts.
All right. Let's move on with another giveaway. All right, so this time we're going to pick 4 winners. And we're going to find out who's going to win an awesome new survival game.
Tension is mounting.
Yep. It's going to be really excited right now. You guys ready?
Totally ready.
Roll it!
Should I roll it now or wait a little bit? I'm going to do it right now. And the winner is Xarant. Congratulations, man. You hear? You're going to find out soon. So, let's draw a game for Xarant. And let's see what kind of game he wins. And the game he wins is Out of Orbit. Awesome. So, Xarant, do you want to draw and try your luck again? Or are you going to pick the game that we draw for you?
I see. Throw all 4 winners into a pit and let them fight it out.
All right, looks like Xarant is amazed with the prize he just won, and he might not be responding for now. So I guess we just silently put this game to his email inbox and just let him enjoy it, right?
Just quietly slip it in there under the door.
Like quietly, very quietly.
Out of Orbit is fun.
Yeah, it's like GTA in space, right?
Pretty much, yeah. The developer is out there. He's pretty active. He's listening to the community. So if there's a future you want to see, he's pretty into adding it in there.
All right, so looks like we have another winner to pick. Who could this be? Let's see. Fano23. Congratulations, Fano. Now we're going to draw a game for you. And let's see what awesome survival game did you just win. And the game is Tribe Primitive Builder. That's an exciting game.
Yeah, I enjoyed this one quite a lot. 100%ed it even.
Wow.
Fano, you
And
here?
Tribe is definitely
Yeah.
Tribe is one of those beautiful games. It is.
Tribe is one of these games who enjoy exploration and building. A lot of building, of course, and some story elements. So, looks like Fano is gonna go with Tribe Primitive Builder. Right. Let's pick another winner then. It's June. Congratulations, June. We're gonna find out what awesome game did you just win. And that game is Rising. Awesome. That is the best survival game I think of 2022. Yeah.
It definitely was a really good game, especially with the introduction of Gloomrod earlier this year.
Yeah, our community's favorite. That's for sure.
Definitely a solid game.
So, June, do you want to try another round and try to win something else? Or you want to pick this game? But I'm sure you want to pick this one because that is an awesome game. All right, so it looks like June is getting the Rising. And let's move on to the next winner. And the next winner is Zephormite. Congratulations, Zephormite. Now you get to win a new game. So, let's see what game do we have in store for you. Out of Orbit. Oh, Zephormite. Awesome game. If you want to draw it in, just let us know and we'll do it for you. If not, well, I guess you're traveling to space then.
Be warned, space is hard.
Yeah, especially if that space with GTA kind of style things going on. Yeah. Zephormite looks like he's traveling to space. He's traveling out of orbit.
Zephormite sounds like something I might turn down if it was on a menu at a restaurant.
I feel like Zephormite is someone who might be a character in Out of Orbit, so he definitely deserves that game. Probably, yeah. All right, so we just picked other 4 winners. And I guess it's time to move on. Time to move on, guys, right?
Time to show some new games.
That is true. And let's see what's coming up next. And the game is...
Wait with bated breath.
And that was Vampire Dynasty. Another awesome game in the Dynasty series, because we have Medieval Dynasty, we have Sengoku Dynasty. What other Dynasty games do you know, guys?
Wild West, but we don't talk about that one.
Yeah, not for now. Not for now, but hopefully in a year or two or three. So, yeah, what do you think about this Vampire Dynasty game?
It looks pretty interesting. The building seems to be maybe upgraded from the other Dynasty games. Because it looked more like you could actually build walls up yourself, unlike, let's say, Medieval Dynasty, where it was just a structure that you placed down. So I'm interested to see where that goes. The vampire aspect of it is kind of intriguing, because in V Rising, you of course had to get blood, which kind of acted as your hunger bar in that game. So I wonder if they're gonna have things like that in here as well.
Yeah, one of the things that caught me on this one, rather than the other Dynasty games, this one does appear to be very combat focused, which I'm kind of is interesting to see. It didn't look like it had much in for the way of village building like the other ones did per se. But I did see that there did seem to be an urgency when you had the multiple people who were building. They all seem like they were building for a reason. So I don't know if that's going to be villagers attacking or maybe for, the sun rising or something, but there did seem to be that little bit urgency. So this one is definitely going to be on my watch list to see. Also, I don't know if it was a cinematic or a gameplay mechanic when it was with the bats that you could fly. So that might be another interesting aspect as well.
Yeah. As far as I know, you will be able to turn into a bat. And yeah, that's interesting thing about the game, because Dynasty games tend to be like town management kind of games. And this one seems to be a lot more combat focused. So I haven't seen like town management elements so far. So I'm wondering how this is going to work in this one, or whether it's going to be a different experience for Dynasty fans. I guess we're going to find out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more gameplay footage and how this town management comes into place, and yeah, more of what kind of experience we can expect from the next Dynasty game.
Yeah, definitely.
Alrighty then. Looks like we have another nomination. And this time, we're gonna nominate a survival game for the best time to relax. So, we have 3 games chosen for this nomination. And that is I Am Future, Try Primitive Builder, and Above Snakes. So, which of these games is your favorite relaxing game, or which of these games do you think will win this nomination, guys?
Now, this whole entire category is kind of funny, because relaxation is generally not something I associate with trying to survive something. But I Am Future is probably the one that's most focused on it, and it's kind of the whole core concept is relaxation and having fun. Tribe, on the other hand, doesn't have any enemies, so it's pretty laid back and chill. Above Snakes, that can get a little tense as enemies come and attack you when there's zombies and everything.
Yeah, unless you don't build your world, so just stick with the first.
Yeah, unless you just stay around the starting tile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I would have to agree with Duncan on a lot of this. Yes, I Am Future is definitely built around it as part of its core gameplay mechanic. Even the art style and the main character is just so chill. I really enjoyed playing that game. Tribe, again, has no enemies, but you are kind of run around trying to make sure everything's working right. And Above Snakes, the ability, like you said, to build your world when you want to, adventure when you want to, and build what you want to. So, this is going to be a tough one. I think for me, just because I'm going to go out on a limb because I like it. I really do love I Am Future, but I'm going to go with Above Snakes.
All right. Let's find out which is the most relaxing community survival games this year. And the winner is I Am Future. Yeah, totally deserved. Chill, laid-back experience surviving in the post-apocalyptic future as a lonesome dude without company, with robots and talking fridges. What can go wrong, right?
Definitely. And he's also chill about it as well.
That is true, but in some of the future up ones, there are going to be some other humans you can find.
Oh boy, so it's definitely going to turn into one of those not so relaxing games and, people. So, yeah, so I guess we're going to find out what's coming up next in the future of I Am Future. But today we have this year's most relaxing survival nomination for the game, and it definitely deserved that. So, let's take a look at what's coming up next in the survival world. And that was Solarpunk. Looks like another relaxing survival game where you can build your own solar panels and just use the energy of sun. Yeah, what do you think about this game, guys?
I feel a trend coming on, because this is very similar to another game that's coming up, which is Aloft, where you're kind of in the sky. You have these these ways to produce electricity. Then there's another game, which I won't spoil yet, because it should be coming up in a bit on the show itself. So it's definitely an interesting one. I really like this one. I've been waiting for this one to come out for a while, and I can't wait till it does. The one criticism I have with it during this trailer is you don't really see like many different biomes. You see the one cave, but it looked kind of empty, but it doesn't seem like there's anything really else after you explore. But it does look very relaxing, and I am quite intrigued how far they're willing to push this electricity system with the wind and solar power, because that's always something pretty interesting, because they're going to go into so many directions, and most survival games don't really do that. They're generally just sticking with maybe the basics, like, oh, you can power lights or charge batteries and such things like that. But this one actually had something interesting from what you can already see in this trailer, is that you can get a weather system or weather prediction system up, which seems pretty interesting. So I'm really interested to see where they'll go.
Let's see. Starting off on this one, I didn't really know anything about Solarpunk, so when I started seeing it and I saw the little robots, I was thinking like I Am Future 2.0. Like, once he gets off the rooftops, he goes in the sky. Yeah. It does definitely look like a chill, laid-back kind of game. The UI in the game and some of the assets looks almost straight out of Palia. So I'm kind of curious if that's what they're going to go for, is more of a community-based game. So I am kind of curious to see what it is. I haven't seen any creatures yet. I don't see any weapons in the hotbar. So I think it is just more a laid back, type game.
Yeah. Looks like a relaxing experience, just floating with a big balloon, flying to other floating islands, just building. Yeah. Looks like a chill experience. All right. It's time to move on to another nomination, which is Best Action. In this nomination, we have 3 nominees that are Blackout Protocol, Alaskan, Road Truckers, and Dead Island 2. So guys, which of these do you think has the best action? Which of these is more action-focused survival game?
I don't think Alaskan Road Truckers was really going for action.
Come on, man. You can ride a truck and have a tank on your back and just smash everything around you. That's definitely some action.
But like compared to the other two, right? Like Blackout Protocol, you go in, defeat a bunch of enemies. It's very combat focused because that's pretty much all you do. Dead Islands, kind of similar, just bashing skulls in. So that is also probably the more popular one on the list currently, even though it wasn't received as well. It got very mixed reviews. But yeah, for my own choice, I would have picked Blackout Protocol. But there's a big chance Dead Island 2 will win.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leading to. I definitely didn't expect Alaskan Road Truckers to be in the best action category. Yeah, Blackout Protocol will probably be my number 1 going in there. I definitely do love the Dead Island 2 run around and, bashing in the heads of zombies. But the Blackout Protocol definitely gives you such of, that panic of, hey, can I get out of there? Watching where you throw grenades, things like that. And it's even better with friends.
Yeah. So let's find out which of these games was decided as the best community's survival and action game this year. And that is Dead Island 2.
What a surprise.
Yeah. Dead Island has definitely loads of action, especially if you like bashing zombie heads and just running around screaming, I'm gonna kill them all. Or, I'm gonna die soon. Anyways, so it has plenty of action, I'm sure, and co-op too, if you want to beat some zombies with friends.
It also has the name recognition of the Dead Island genre.
Yeah, it's definitely one of these known games. And I guess that is one reason why it's recognized as a really good action game, which I think it's also, we did not have a lot of action survival games, like based purely more on action rather, building, crafting, and surviving, but more just focus on action. So I think that's the game that you want to pick for if you want this kind of zombie action-based survival experience. Anyways.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't get much into Dead Island 2 only because it was only on Epic and it didn't come to Steam, so I was kind of sad.
Yeah, but I guess we're gonna see that soon on Steam. Yeah. All right, let's move on with our another survival game.
A dangerous fog corrupts the land. You are Flameborn, the last ember of hope to push back the Shroud. Like all heroic Flameborn, you will use your deadly sword skills to slay your enemies. That is not a sword. Okay, that's not a sword either.
Oh, come on, you can't just punch everything.
Well, however you decide to fight, Flameborn confront danger head on. Wait, why are you sneaking around? I said head on. Okay, fine. Do it your way. But undoubtedly, all Flameborn are masters of building epic castles to show it. Oh, where's the castle? You're meant to be building an epic castle, not a hole in the ground. Although, that is nice. Okay, so you can build whatever you like. Where was I? Yes, Flameborn are explorers who glide over land and sea. Okay, then Flameborn are explorers who grapple over land and sea. Ah, now you're gliding. I see. Okay, you're just doing whatever you want. Where are you going? No, not into the shroud. No way. You're not ready for this, boss. He'll squash you. But what's going on here? There's more of you now? Oh, so you're teaming up. I see. You're all against me. Fine. Play however you want. It's your game.
And that was Enshrouded, which is launching early next year. What are your thoughts on the game, guys?
This one looks really good. It kind of reminded me at the beginning a lot of Frozen Flame because it's more of like an action-orientated survival game. But it seems pretty interesting. It seems like you can do a lot. The building is pretty in-depth by the looks of it, or at least where you can build. Like, you can dig the holes in the ground, you can build up whatever you want. It seems like you can knock out tiny pieces, so it's probably going to be very big on the... There's going to be a lot of builders that are going to be very interested with this one. While there also seem to be a lot of POIs, which we recently did an article on. The way they do this seems pretty crazy, to be honest. They can add points of interest so fast that I think this world's going to be littered with interesting sites everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Enshrouded, I think, was the winner for Steam Fest as far as when it came out. They did something differently than any other of the demos that were out there. Is you actually had 8 hours that you could play the demo, like per character. And even people who played 8 hours were not even able to get that far. I mean, the world is huge. One of the big things that was in there is that the entire terrain is destructible, so every building you can pretty much tear apart and rebuild into whatever it is that you want. It has so much going for it with the survival aspects, since you do have to make sure that your health and stuff is taken care of. You got to make sure you eat. You can explore anywhere. You can fly. You can build. It has a little bit of everything for everybody, and the combat is very fast-paced, focused.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one is really exciting game that we are excited. Our team, our community is excited about, and I think it's gonna just be one of these potentially big game survival games next year. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna see this one on the Gameoneer Awards again next year.
Yeah. Anyways, let's see what else do we have in store. And for this time, we have nomination of Best Horror. And the category, we have Sons of the Forest, Amnesia the Bunker, The Outlast, Trials. So, let's see which of these games is the most scary. You want to take a guess?
Sons of the Forest caves are terrifying, more so than Outlast Trials is. Trials is really different in the whole Outlast game trilogy as well. I haven't played Amnesia Bunker yet, but since that is a full horror-focused game, that could be the winner here.
This one is going to be tougher for me because I'm not a really big horror kind of player. I do love my zombies, but horror is not my genre to play with. Dang, this is a tough one, though. But I think as far as the community goes, I think that they really like Sons of the Forest. It was one of the top games that came out, so I think they're going to go with that one. So I'm going to go with that one for a fan favorite.
All right. So let's see which of these games has the best horror. And the winner is Amnesia the Bunker. Oh, yeah. That is a scary one.
Dang, they got me.
All right, let's move on with another game trailer.
I own an island off the coast of Costa Rica. Really spectacular, spared no expense. For this place, I wanted to show them something that wasn't an illusion. Something that was real.
Can anyone hear me? This is Dr. Maya Joshi. I've been left behind on Isla Nubla. Is anyone there?
And that was Jurassic Park Survival, an upcoming survival horror game that I'm sure a lot of Jurassic Park fans are looking forward to. What do you think about the game?
I'm pretty excited for this one as well. It seems pretty cool. It does look like more of a linear story-driven game, which I think is fine for a movie genre. But who knows, maybe they'll throw in some curveballs, kind of like the new Lego survival game, because I never expected that.
Jurassic Park definitely has a big fan base. I'm a big fan of it, and I think the dinosaurs in this one are definitely going to be a lot more creepier and scarier than in Ark. And I am kind of curious, though, because they didn't really show anything except for, you know, a couple of the quick cut scenes in there, is if it's going to be more like Alien Isolation, where it's kind of like story-driven. There's not a lot of combat per se, because, you know, in Jurassic Park, they're not really fighting the dinosaurs, but trying to hide and run away from them. And so it's going to be more of just, you know, trying to find your way through the story as opposed to surviving in general. But yeah, I am interested to see how this one progresses.
It looks like a story-driven experience. Probably going to be following... I'm not sure it's going to be like open world, like you're going to explore everything, but maybe more like going from one place to another with horror elements. Maybe some survival elements will be there, so it doesn't feel like only the horror part. Like I wish actually someone created a game like Sons of the Forest and mixed with Ark, which like a horror game with intelligent dinos that you have to survive in the wilderness. So you have to scavenge, build, craft. Has survival mechanics, but also has these dangerous dinos. So that would be awesome, I think, like a sandbox survival game with dinos. Yeah. All right, looks like we're moving on with the next nomination, which is Best Strategy. And for the Best Strategy, we have Gourd, Homeseek, and Stranded: Alien Dawn. Any guesses?
I think I only tried a little bit of Gourd. I have never really played any of the other ones, though.
Yeah, so between the two, Gourd and Stranded: Alien Dawn, Homeseek It was okay. It didn't really grab me as much as Gordon Stranded Alien Dawn did. Gord definitely does have the rich background, the mythos, the creatures, has a great art style. Stranded Alien Dawn is kind of more an upgraded Rim world, and with different characteristics of the characters themselves having their different personality traits, as well as some of the additional DLC that they've had now. So for this one, I'm probably gonna go with Gord. Stranded Alien Dawn, I really love, but I think I'm gonna go with Gord on this one.
All right. So let's see which of these games is the best strategy survival game, and the winner is Stranded Alien Dawn. Yeah, this game is definitely one of these survival games with a lot of content and things to explore. So I think that could be the reason why a lot of players voted for this one, because it has depth, it has content, it has what you need for a survival strategy game.
And if you play it like me, play it really hardcore and give your guys no skills at all. You got to build from the ground up.
Yep. All right, moving on with another trailer. And that was End Zone. Just this year announced survival strategy game. Definitely looks promising with a setting itself. You guys excited about it? What are your thoughts on the game?
It does seem pretty interesting. It also looks like there is maybe going to be different seasons, as when he goes through, you can see a lot of different environments. Or maybe that was just from the past what it used to look like, and now, who knows? It seems like you have a mobile base in this one, so I guess exploration is probably going to be a bigger part of it. Yeah, I don't know much about this one, nor the first one, seeing as this is a 2.
Yeah, again, this is another one that that it's only the cinematic trailer. So I always hate those, only because we don't get to really see too much of the game mechanics involved. I know the original End Zone, right? Mostly positive. People seem to really enjoy it. So I'll give this one the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, we gotta see more gameplay footage and things as it gets more into development, and yeah. Looks like another promising survival strategy game just announced this year. Right, let's move on.
Yeah, this one is more of a city builder, so we'll see.
Okay. That is going to be city destroying. I mean, I shouldn't destroy cities, but survival game with city building thing going on. All right, let's see what we have next. Oh, this is the big nomination for the survival game of the year. Wow, that's the exciting moment, right? Whew.
It sure is.
All right, and the nominees for the survival game of the year are Forever Skies, Sons of the Forest, and Smallland, Survive the Wilds. So, what do you think, guys?
3 big games for sure, but from what we've seen so far, I think we already know which one's going to win. This year, though, was packed with great games. It was kind of sad that a lot of the bigger ones that were supposed to release got delayed until next year or beyond. Kind of like Arc 2, I'm pretty sure was supposed to launch this year. And then we don't even know anything really about that anymore. Nightingale got delayed until February, and there were a couple other ones. Those were never on the level that Sons of the Forest or Nightingale and stuff like that was, but yeah, this year had a lot of insanely great survival games. And I'll be surprised if next year is going to be as great and insane.
I think it's going to be insane even more.
The first 2 months, definitely. Those are going to be crazy. But my money on this one is on Sons of the Forest, even though I like the other ones as well.
Yeah, survival game of the year. Yes, Forever Skies definitely has a different mechanics going on. I think it came out with good fanfare, and I can't wait to see how that one develops. So I think it's going to go down to the last two, Small Lands and Sons of the Forest. Small Lands is out there, right? I mean, I think it kind of took the gaming community by storm when it came out, as it was, I think, even more well-received than Grounded was, and Grounded did really well, even though I think there are some hiccups in Small Land itself. But Sons of the Forest, I think, is going to be the fan favorite because that has been the number one that's been sweeping everything, and it's great on the YouTubes, and the streamers are loving it. So my money is on Sons of the Forest.
All right. And the best survival game this year is Sons of the Forest. Oh yeah, that is really big game this year, assuming or considering the fact that a lot of great survival games have been delayed to 2024, and I think this game had no really big competition. I think it just blew everything apart pretty much. But of course, we also had great games this year, so yeah. Anyways, it's time to move on to the next game trailer.
Hey everyone, Luke Williams here from Bossa Games, and today I'm super excited to share an early look at something new we're bringing to you in collaboration with Humble Games, an open world co-op adventure called Lost Skies. Lost Skies takes place in a fantastical world of airborne islands and soaring skyships, where strange and massive ancient beings have shattered the land, and the last remnants of humanity must band together to survive among the clouds. You play as one of these last survivors, setting out on a journey across the skies to explore ruins from a lost age. Build and command a skyship either solo or alongside your friends, and ultimately find a way to banish the awesome and terrifying entities that shattered your world. Where you go and how you get there is entirely up to you. Lost Skies draws inspiration from one of Boss's earlier games called Worlds Adrift. The idea of adventuring among the clouds was at the heart of that game too, and we've always loved that core concept. So we're thrilled to be able to head skyward again and bring players a completely new and ultimately very different co-op focused experience that shares a lot of that same spirit. One of the big things we want to do with Lost Skies is give players a sense of tremendous freedom and endless possibility. As you're sailing between the clouds and spotting all the tiny specks in the distance, we want players to know that's a real island waiting. And if you're ready for the journey, you'll be able to discover what's there for yourself. You'll find ancient ruins to explore and islands full of resources to upgrade your ship or your character, although they may be guarded by creatures that need vanquishing or puzzles that need solving. Explore far enough and you might uncover a great secret that takes you closer to understanding what happened to your world. We want that sense of freedom to extend to exploring the world on foot too. In the world of Lost Skies, survivors have become adept at using grappling hooks to hurl themselves from point to point, personal paragliders to help them soar through the sky, and there are many other tools for you to discover. Our goal is to make all of these feel natural and exhilarating to use. You'll also have the freedom to build your skyship the way you want and with whom you want. whether you see yourself as a lone explorer or as part of an adventurous sky crew. As you're sailing through the sky, you might find your way blocked by a treacherous storm wall, and you won't be able to survive until you fortify your ship. You'll also need to bolster your ship's weapons and defenses to engage in battles against hostile enemies, and ultimately confront bigger, more mysterious dangers that lurk in the endless expanse of the sky. It's you and your crew's flying fortress, your base of operations, and your home. Lost Skies is being crafted by a team of amazing artists, designers, engineers, and other developers at Bossa Games, who all share a passion for bringing creative new ideas to life and forging inclusive worlds where players can achieve awesome things together. We also believe that the best way to achieve our vision is with the help of our community. And soon, we'll be sharing info on how you can be part of the development process in the early stages. If you're interested in Lost Skies, check out our official site and make sure to wishlist the game on Steam. We can't wait to show you more.
And that was Lost Skies, an upcoming survival game. Any thoughts?
I'm quite skeptical about this one. So this was the other, like, islandy survival game I was talking about earlier. But they specifically mentioned Worlds Adrift, which was their previous game. That left a very sour taste in many players' mouth. And I played the alpha of that. It was pretty fun and had some unique concepts. So it's cool to see that they're willing to expand on that. The way they kind of canceled the previous game and then building this one up, I wonder how that will go, especially at the beginning with, you know, angry fans and all. But the idea itself is really good and pretty interesting.
Yeah, and this one, I don't know. I don't have any experience with the original game as Duncan does. This one does have a lot of different aspects to it. I know a lot of it's just in-game images and stuff, but the fact that not only do you have to explore on the ground and in the sky, you have to build your sky ship to also battle creatures in the sky, possibly several large. Apparently, the environment is also a mechanic in it, because it does mention that you have to fight off big storms, things like that. So this one's curious to see. But like Duncan said, you know, there is a little bit of speculation on how well this game will do based on the last one. Had some decent ratings, but didn't have a really big player base.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to wait and see how the game improved, what our developers are bringing for us this time. And hopefully, this game is going to be a success. So, it's time to nominate the most anticipated survival game. So let's see which of these three, Enshrouded, Pacific Drive, or Nightingale, is the most anticipated Gameoneer community survival game. Any predictions?
Man, this one is difficult in a way, because Enshrouded looked really cool. It has a lot of interesting sides. It's really good for exploring, it looks like, for building. Pacific Drive seems like a really original spin on the genre. Nightingale, though, is really probably one of the bigger names out there currently. And the game itself, pretty good.
Man, oh man, why'd you have to do this to me? Why'd you have to put Enshrouded and Nightingale together in one most anticipated survival game? Because both are anticipated by myself, both for different reasons. You know, Enshrouded, I think, will be an awesome single-player game to give you a great experience to go around and build the world that you want. But Nightingale, on the other hand, has infinite possibilities for the game. You can play with others. You can build a co-op base. So for me personally, I'm going for Nightingale. Pacific Drive is there, but I don't know if it's really got a drive for me as much as the other two do. Nightingale is my number one, but I think that the community is going to go with Enshrouded.
All right. So let's see which of these games is the most anticipated survival game. And the winner is Enshrouded. Yeah, that is a big game, and it's actually the Battle of the Giants. I guess it will be really interesting to see in our nominations next year which of these games is actually turned out to be the best game. But for now, we have Enshrouded as the most anticipated survival game. All right, moving up next, we have another trailer.
What?
And that was TerraTech Worlds, an upcoming survival game with cars. What are your thoughts of the game?
What did I just watch? Like you said, it's really just a survival game, but you are the car. That's I thought Pacific Drive was gonna be the most
carish
game, yeah. But this one, you literally are the car. It's cool that you can upgrade it. I do wonder if they're gonna go more in depth in like survival mechanics, because besides fuel and maybe maintenance, I don't think they can do much with a car.
Yeah.
And the worlds themselves look kind of more like these big battlegrounds rather than collecting resources, building stuff up. So I'm interested to see which road or which way they'll take this game.
What Tonka truck Lego mashup is this? But even though it's kind of crazy, it still has, is curious, is raising my curiosity as well. Like Duncan said, the worlds do seem a little sparse and kind of open, just ready for the combat mayhem. But even the combat and the graphics seem a little basic, which isn't necessarily bad. It's all about playability. So I'm curious to see how this one comes, but it's not probably one of my top wish listed items.
Yeah, I think the game has an interesting premise on surviving as a car. I think the game will gonna focus on building your dream car and surviving as that car. So this kind of could be interesting thing. Like, building yourself up from the ground, from the tires, and just shooting. I guess probably PvP elements will be present, because I would expect you could fight other cars. Imagine you could just blow off the tires of other players. But yeah, I guess we got to see more as the game reveals. So it's time to move on to another nomination, which is Survival Game of All Time. And this nomination is determined based on both Gameoneer score, which is our team score, and Gameoneer community score. And the average of these scores is gonna determine which of these three survival games is the best of all time. And we have here Ark Survival Evolved, Grounded, and Project Zomboid. What do you think?
Project Zomboid probably has the most interesting and deep, in-depth survival mechanics. My money is on that game. I like Grounded. I think it's also too new, really. Like, it's the little brother of both Ark and Zomboid. Those are two, like, titans that have that are pretty old by now. So a lot of people know about them. A lot of people played them. A lot of people love them. I think generally, though, Ark is, while it's very loved, it also has its haters. I think more so than Project Zomboid. So yeah, I think Zomboid will probably be best survival, because I know that the ratings on that one are also pretty damn high.
This category kind of hurts me, because 7 Days to Die is not on this. It's not one of the nominees here. But each of these games do have its own characteristics and fun factor to throw in there. Project Zomboid will definitely make you rage quit more often than not. Grounded, is definitely a fun game, especially with friends, and has a lot of combat-oriented survival mechanics, and it's a great game to play. Ark Survival Evolved, not bad. It is good. It does have its quirks. I did enjoy the game, but for survival game of all time, I think it's going to be Project Zomboid.
All right, so let's see which of these is survival game of all time. And the winner is Project Zomboid. Definitely earned, definitely deserved. One of my...
Nailed it!
Yeah, probably one of these games that I played. I've tried. I think it was introduction to survival games to me. At least it's very early, for many years in early access, like for over 10 years now. And just, I guess it's one of these games that if you played survival games 10 years ago, it's one of these games that you got into, and that may be something that got you into survival genre. I don't know, but at least for me, that was it.
Yeah, this one was massive, and you could do so much, and every playthrough is pretty different. And there's so many routes to take. It's absolutely ridiculous how much content they're able to cram into this survival game.
Yeah.
And it's still not in full release.
Yeah. It's getting...
I've been... go ahead.
Getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I've been with Project Zomboid since the beginning, and I sucked at it. But every couple of years, I still jump back in. I played it for probably a good 3 weeks again now. And I think one of the greatest things about Project Zomboid is not only has it continued to improve and enhance itself, but it's open to the modding community, which is what really makes many of these games last well beyond their years. And yes, Project Zomboid was definitely a good pick for this one.
Yeah. Very fun game. We had servers for our community and just had a blast playing together. Like over, I can think about 15 players or 10, 15 players were playing together, and we were just scavenging the streets and just killing all the zombies before we started to die due to lack of resources and things like that. But yeah, that was fun because like if you play in a big group, you have to manage resources very carefully. It's not like when you play alone. Sure, it's a lot easier in a group, but also have to be more cautious of keeping that food for everyone, not to get someone hungry, which would be bad, I guess. So now we have the final giveaway, and now we're gonna pick 5 more voters. Once again, thanks to everyone for voting, and the last 5 people will be decided right now, and they're gonna win an awesome game too. So, the first of the 5 is gonna be Seriously? All right. Seriously. Let's see what game you actually won. Out of Orbit. Seriously?
Seriously?
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, seriously. I mean, seriously, just let us know, seriously, whether you want to spin another game or you're just going to take that awesome survival GTA kind of style game Out of Orbit. Come on, seriously, man, just respond. We need someone to respond today. He's sleeping. Seriously. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like I'm gonna just write it down and send this prize him. Seriously. So, let's take a look at another winner we have now. And the next winner is Zeray Cliff. All right, Zeray, let's see what game we have for you. And that game is Drift. Whoa, drifting space. That was, I think, Duncan's favorite.
This was a pretty fun one, yeah. Definitely needs more content, though.
Have you played this one, HD? Hamer?
Unfortunately, I have not. So as some of these games I don't know pop up, I just throw them into Steam real quick, see what they are. It looks kind of interesting. I like the graphics. Kind of looks like Void Bastards a little bit.
And the game itself plays a little bit like Raft, but it's in space. And you're little alien dudes, which look kind of funny if you play multiplayer. Although multiplayer at the moment is kind of broken, to be honest.
Alrighty. It looks like we have 3 more winners because the choice is made. Alright, so let's see, Zeray.
Don't drift away, Zeray.
Yep. Drift away. Alright, so the next winner is Tonic Exotic.
What exotic game is he gonna get?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what exotic awaits for Mr. Tonic. Alright, Mr. Tonic, you ready?
Let's see, I'm guessing polylithic.
And that is Tribe Primitive.
It's pretty exotic, to be honest.
Yeah.
On a tropical-ish island.
Yeah, it's pretty darn exotic. And I guess Tonic Exotic is gonna pick something that has some exotic flavors, I guess. Yeah. All right. And we have 2 more winners to pick. So, let's say who's gonna be the next 2 winners. And that is Beebly. Congratulations. Yeah, I think we had Beebly in the chat previously, but we don't have at this point. So, let's pick a game.
Come, baby, pick my game.
And that is ZSGO. Beebly, if you're still here, let us know if you want to draw another game or we're going to send you ZSGO.
ZSGO is a fun game. It's a little light on stuff, but it is getting there. So I do enjoy that one.
All right, looks like Beebly is going to be Beebling to ZSGO now then. So, all right. Let's see what is the final winner in this giveaway. Night Shadow X. Oh boy.
Oh snap. What's he gonna get? He's in chat.
Yeah, he's in chat and he gets to choose the second draw. That sounds awesome. All right, let's see.
Let's see if he can choose what he thinks it's gonna come up with.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna be pleased with the first option, or we might try wanna win something else.
My Little Pony.
Polylytic?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a pretty good one.
So Night Shadow X, now I have to make a tough decision. And that decision is whether you want to pick this game or you want to draw another one. And make sure if you draw another one, which means you have to pick the second one.
It's true. Polylytic is a pretty fun game. It is kind of story-driven right now, but they are opening up a full survival free-range game. So,
yeah. Just don't forget, we also have Survival Fountain of Youth. And some other awesome games. So make your decision. I tried.
We have one more Out of Orbit key too.
Yeah. Or maybe it will be Lens Island. Who knows, right? That's another good game. So, Night Shadow, I tried. I mean, you try the game, this one, or you want to try us to draw it?
I think he means he's going to go for Polylytic.
Yes, I will pick this. I mean, good. So Polylytic it is.
Poly.
ADHD really likes this game.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like run around and hitting rabbits with clubs?
Yeah, that one is really kind of strategy and survival. Has some missions going on here, and developers are pretty active, and yeah, definitely gonna bring up some more content. So, what should we do now? Should we just draw again, see what game he could have won? Or just keep it a secret?
Let's give it a go. Let's see what he
Come
would
on,
have
Chad,
won
let
if he
us
chose
know.
differently.
Should we just draw again and see what he could have won, or just let it go and don't tease him, assuming he could have won something big?
Could have won Out of Orbit again.
Or could have gone with Out of Orbit, which is GTA of space survival games. So
Night Shadow says, spin the wheel, baby.
okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh boy.
That's amazing.
Oh boy. I'm crying.
That's definitely the #1 pick for the stream so far.
Yeah, I remember last year when Jeffrey pulled.
Oh, yeah, you kept pulling. Oh, what was it? Was it Far Gone, or I think it was that one, wasn't it?
I think
that one kept popping up as well.
Yeah, I think he spent 3 times and he got the same game. Oh,
yeah, it was insane.
And he was like, everyone like trolling on him. Oh boy. Yeah, so this year we have more successful attempt at winning. Well, I mean, like, Out of Orbit is a good game, right? It's just like, if you prefer like more wilderness survival, Polylytic is definitely your choice. Yeah. All right, so it looks like we have one more thing going on. And that is the final upcoming game reveal. So, let's see. What is that game?
My toes are crossed on this one.
We were faced with is a tragedy that history has never known. Thrown into an unequal battle is an enemy that kills invisibly. Betrayed by the system, sacrificed by the leaders. We are supposed to save the world at the cost of our own lives and health. Nameless heroes.
And that was Chernobyl Liquidators, an upcoming Chernobyl survival game. Or like saving Chernobyl out of big disaster. What do you think about the game, guys?
I'm not 100% sure about this one, to be honest, because this trailer doesn't really show that much. Like, the setting is kind of interesting, but I'm not really sure what to really do in the game and how in-depth it's going to be, especially for a survival game.
Yeah, this looks like a more simulator mixed survival, simulator with survival elements based on realism and no zombies this time, no mutants.
Unless.
Yeah, this one seems a little different, only because, it even in the description it tells you that you're not going to fight mutants, but that it's a realistic kind of take on a nuclear disaster where you have to like clean it up and protect everything. So, kind of seems like one of the spray washer games, but more, but a nice looking environment stuff. So
yeah,
it kind of makes me wonder how it's going to pull out. And is it really a survival game?
It is, definitely. Not the usual classic survival sandbox experience, but definitely based on grounded realism. And if you go to Chernobyl, I'm sure if you went to that strategy moment and all that radiation, that's the serious threat to your survival. That's the serious danger. What it can happen to you if you're not careful, if you're not prepared for that mission. So yeah, I guess we're gonna see how it ends up. But it's definitely going to be one of those grounded in reality survival experiences of saving others and keeping situation in check. All right.
Definitely check out a demo of it if they make one.
Yep. Do that. All right, so that's it. So that was Gameoneer Awards 2023. That brought a lot of upcoming survival games for you to add to your wish lists or add to your list. And we nominated the best survival games this year. Once again, thanks to everyone for voting, to everyone for sharing what they think are the best survival games. And congratulations to all the winners. Hope you enjoyed the games. They will arrive to you soon, the email, so stay tuned. And once again, thanks to Duncan and ADHD Gamer for being with us today and sharing their thoughts about the games that you're gonna see next year or beyond. Once again, thanks for being here, guys. Thanks to everyone.
It was fun.
It was definitely fun. I enjoyed doing it. I'm kind of curious what the chat, what their fan favorite of the new games that we showed, which ones they think really calls to them.
Yep.
I guess we'll wait for their reactions. Which ones are you looking forward to most of the ones we just showed?
Oh, I can tell you. That's for me. That's probably Light No Fire.
That's a pretty big one, yeah.
Even though I'm not a huge of MMO, if it's gonna be like MMO kind of thing, like online only, that's probably not my kind of thing. Like I wish I could just play it with friends, like on the server, maybe host a server and play with friends without having just be in playing with everyone. But if that's gonna offer like servers you can host or local co-op or just, any way to play with friends without just being immersed in an MMO experience, that's definitely gonna be, for me, the top pick. How about you guys?
For me, I'd say probably Solarpunk or Enshrouded, but Solarpunk probably seems to be more up my alley, and I'll probably play that longer than Enshrouded. Just because it has kind of a unique thing going on, and it looks more like a relaxing survival game that I can come back to every once in a while.
Yeah, for me, Enshrouded is definitely one that I definitely want to play more and see how that one progresses. But the Light No Fire does have my attention because I've always been looking for that one game where you can make your place in the world and see what you can make of it. But I do have the qualms about any, griefing, like we talked about earlier, and see how the mechanics of running a full-size, larger-than-Earth world with millions of people possibly joining seems like it could come with its own problems as well. But Light No Fire is definitely top on my list.
Yeah, these are great games. And of course, I forgot to mention that the game from Green Hell developers also looks interesting because I really enjoyed the Green Hell and hopefully want to see how it's gonna add up to that experience and what they're gonna come up with. So based on my previous Green Hell experience, I think that game also is gonna be definitely on my wish list.
Yeah, definitely. If they can make something as good as what Green Hell was, then that is probably going to be one of the best games of the year whenever it releases.
I concur.
All right, guys. So, thanks everyone for joining. Thanks everyone for being with us today and casting your vote for your favorite survival games and helping us nominate the best survival games of this year. But stay tuned. We have more prizes, surprises, and more news coming to you. So don't forget to check us on socials. Follow our survival game news on X, Twitter. Visit our website, Gameoneer.com, for new articles that are going to be even more excited next year with a lot of newly revealed survival games. And once again, thanks for being with us. This was HD Gamer, GDP Duncan, and me, Blacksmith. And see you next time.
Toodles, my noodles.